markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do this live stream every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. If you are streaming from Twitter, make sure to head over to YouTube. If you are streaming from YouTube, make sure to head over to Twitter. Give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. It's at Crypto Saving Expert, but without the NERT on the end for Twitter because it's too long for a Twitter handle. So it's Crypto Saving Exp on Twitter. And we have just hit 100,000 followers on Twitter last week. So make sure to join the crew over there if you have not already. But let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin this morning. Let's see what's happening on this Wednesday, middle of the week. Let's see if we've had any movement. And as you guessed it, we really haven't had much. We're still within that range of $29,000 to $30,000. Really not seeing too much movement here. If we take a look at the price of Bitcoin quickly on the hourly chart, you can see this is probably the most stagnant I've ever watched Bitcoin so closely. So we can see here that Bitcoin has not moved from, let's see, in fact, let's get the time period for this range. We were obviously in this range up here for a month and a half, and then we saw it move to the downside. So we've been below the $30,240 level since the 23rd of July, and between that point and the $28,500 level. So we're looking at another just under $2,000 range once again that we have been trapped in for almost a month now. Are we going to see this continue? Are we going to see a small breakout and then some more sideways action? Potentially, that's what is looking like is in store for the next couple of weeks. But we'll keep an eye on that and we'll do some more Bitcoin analysis at the end of today's stream. First of all, I want to take a look at the cryptocurrency news and see what's going on today. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. If you weren't here on yesterday's stream, we did a Trello unboxing. We unboxed this hardware wallet and we took a look at what was inside. The team sent me a nice little kit. I've got a little handle for mine and a silicone case for mine now as well. So this is a Trello wallet, Trello. We need to pull that up. Let's take a look at that really quickly before we get into today's cryptocurrency news today. So if you go to guides on cryptosavingexpert.com and you go to wallets, you can see we have descriptions for a bunch of different software and hardware wallets. So this is the Trezor One that I've been given by the team at Crypto Saving Expert. Now this is $70 here. You can see it supports over 1,000 cryptocurrencies. I actually use Trezor myself, but make sure to check them out. Do a little bit more research. Make sure to use that link if you choose to buy one. Head over to the website. And if you want to look at the other wallets we are talking about on the website, just take a look at that tab. We've got loads discussed there. Another big favorite of the team. Let's go back to hardware. Another big favorite of the team is Ngrave and Descents as well. So make sure to check them out. I will in fact drop the link to that in today's stream there as well. Did anyone notice that we didn't have the starting soon tab at the start of today's stream? I don't know if you guys prefer that. I don't know if the starting soon tab ruins us in the algorithm or not. So we're just testing that out, seeing if we just go straight into the stream and see what happens. Anyway, that's enough blabbing for me. Let's see what's going on in the latest cryptocurrency news. What we have here is the SEC could decide on Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF this week. Now, we've seen a bunch of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US over the last couple of months. Now, Grayscale have been fighting for this for the last couple of years, and now they are in a lawsuit with the SEC saying you're not giving good enough reason as to why we can't launch as an ETF. Now, Grayscale have GBTC, which is a trust that contains Bitcoin, but it's not pegged one-to-one with the price of Bitcoin. It's not a spot Bitcoin ETF. And Grayscale have been trying to transition that trust into an ETF, an exchange-traded fund, for a while, but they've just not been letting them do it. And now what we are seeing is Grayscale have actually got lawsuits against the SEC, trying to understand their reasoning and pushing to try and get it accepted as an ETF. Now, Grayscale are on the side of the opinion that these spot Bitcoin ETFs will eventually get accepted, and they have actually said they would prefer if their ETF gets accepted at the same time as the other ETF applications, the BlackRock ETF, the Fidelity ETF, and all of the other ETFs mentioned in this article, because there's going to be a massive first mover advantage if not, and Grayscale have been pushing for this for a very long time. Now, what you can see in this article is we have the SEC final deadline much sooner for the Grayscale case than for any other of these filings. So you can see here we've got ARC 21 shares, we've got Bitwise, we've got VanEck, we've got Wisdom Tree. You can see we've got a huge amount of filings here for spot Bitcoin ETF, BlackRock. What else have we got? Invesco and Galaxy, Fidelity. So here you can see these all have an SEC final deadline of around March next year, except this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust ETF, GBTC transferring into an ETF. Now, many of these have said that Coinbase is their custodian for this. You can see this in this column here. I'm pointing with my hand as if you can see what I'm looking at. So what we're seeing here is, will this ETF get accepted this week? Now, we've seen a lot of articles saying it's expected to actually be done this week by Friday. Will that actually happen though? I'm not 100% convinced. So we can see here, it's no secret that anything to do with the SEC and cryptocurrency is straightforward. Grayscale has already had an application turned down to convert its GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF. And the SEC has received an influx of Bitcoin spot ETF applications, with one of the world's largest asset managers, BlackRock, applying for one as well. But it has been suggested that instead of approving all applications separately, they may be approved simultaneously. Since then, the SEC has delayed a decision on ARK Invest's application and could decide to approve Grayscale's this week. Still, with the SEC's attitude and stance on crypto, it would also be no surprise to see it rejected further applicants or delay the decision on Grayscale's application. So that's what I'm expecting to see here. I'm expecting to see a delay in the Grayscale application because, as I said, there's a huge benefit here for having all of these ETFs being accepted simultaneously. And there's a huge issue there's a huge first mover advantage here, and all of these companies that have filed for spot Bitcoin ETFs essentially going head on and trying to get that market share of people in the traditional markets that want exposure to the cryptocurrency industry. So unfortunately, I'm not expecting Grayscale spot Bitcoin ETF to be accepted this week. I am expecting it to be rejected or delayed. Either way, we are getting closer and closer to that decision date, and that is the main thing. However, let's just say that it does happen. If it does happen, that's the kind of positive market news we need to move out of this current range that we're sat in with Bitcoin right now. We are sat within a price range and we are not moving. So we need some positive news in the markets, and that could be a great piece of news that could push us over the edge one day. But let's carry on with today's news and see what else is going on. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We have some really, really exciting things coming to the Crypto Saving Expert website very, very soon. Now, I don't think we've announced the date just yet, so I'm not going to put any spoilers out there, but we've got some big, big announcements coming. If you're already on the newsletter feed, then you will have seen some information about that. If you are not yet signed up to the website, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com, hit that big blue button at the top, and create an account with us so you get if you hear about what's going on soon. Let me try that again. You hear about what changes we're going to make first, because we're going to be making a huge amount of changes within the next couple of weeks. We've got a huge amount of work going into the site right now. We're just testing it, making sure it's perfect, and soon as we've got the go ahead, then that will be live for you guys to utilize. So make sure to get yourself signed up before that starts. Let's see what's going on in this article. So, CoinDesk conducts a required staff layoff amid pending takeover deal. So, CoinDesk, obviously a cryptocurrency media company, will reportedly dismiss around 20 employees. If you want the most reliable cryptocurrency news out there, make sure to be using Crypto Saving Expert, though. Because CoinDesk is one of our competitors. We want you to be using Crypto Saving Expert for everything. We want to be your one-stop crypto shop. You can go to our website for news, guides, courses, market data, an encyclopedia, and so much more when we have released some new exciting things next week. So make sure to stay tuned for that, and make sure to use Crypto Saving Expert as much as you can. Utilize this free information as much as you can. Let's continue on to the next piece of news here and see what else is going on. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. Here we have centralized exchange data for July gives mixed signals. Binance witnesses drop off. So Woo Blockchain has released July's centralized exchange volume data, and you can see here that the top three in terms of percentage change were Huobi at 81%, Upbit at 67%, and Bitfinex at 10%. The bottom three were MEXC, BitGet, and KuCoin. So this is in terms of the spot volume and the change for each exchange. We could also see here If we go a little bit further, Binance is the resounding favourite. So the report compiled all the data and provided a table for the highest and lowest volume performers. Binance topped the pile with over 3.5 times more volume than second place Upbit. But we can actually see here that the top ranked exchange also had approximately 7 times more spot trading volume than Coinbase, which has been chosen by most spot Bitcoin exchange ETF applications as the surveillance partner. So Coinbase has been performing very, very well within the last couple of weeks. Despite some concerns with regulation in the US, they have been chosen to be the custodial part, the surveillance partner for a lot of the Bitcoin ETFs for companies like BlackRock, Fidelity. If we go back to that first article, you can see here the custodian for Grayscale, 21 shares, and BlackRock is Coinbase. So big move there for Coinbase. And that's caused a really positive thing for the price of Coinbase shares. Let's see how that's performing right now. Let's just get that pulled up. Coinbase shares, let's see what that is. And let me pull this into the screen so you can see this. Down in the last 24 hours, but in the last 6 months, you can see that massive rise there from when these spot Bitcoin ETFs were naming Coinbase as their surveillance partner. So we'll see how that plays out. Pretty interesting one there. This is an incredibly volatile stock, obviously cryptocurrency related. So what can we expect? Cryptocurrency attracts volatility until the last 3 months where Bitcoin's just been going sideways. But anyway, let's continue on with the next piece of news. See what else is going on here, and then we'll eventually get around to the price of Bitcoin and analyze that as well. Europe has seen its first spot Bitcoin ETF, and that is going live on Euronext Amsterdam. So Jacobi's spot ETF launch comes when several traditional financial giants seek to launch a similar product in the US. So the first spot Bitcoin ETF in Europe has launched. I will drop the link to this in today's chat there, so you guys can see what's going on there. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. So Jason said, just watching the Matildas game, the Lionesses are thrashing in the World Cup. Yeah, my friends just giving me updates on that. We're also seeing everything is pointing at March being the flash starter for the next big bull run, maybe. Potentially, that is something I'm looking at. So we have obviously the Bitcoin halving in April next year, in April 2024, currently predicted to be around the 26th of April, so late April. And we're looking at the deadlines for the decision from the SEC regarding the spot Bitcoin ETFs to be around March next year. Now, with that in mind, if that actually happens and the SEC accepts those filings and those spot Bitcoin ETFs do launch, that's positioning the institutions perfectly before the halving, which typically triggers a bull market. So that timing is pretty perfect, I would like to say. Coincidence? I think not. Let's take a look at the next article here, though, and see what else is going on. So the SEC is questioned over Prometheum's approval. So this broker-dealer license was approved in May, but is now being questioned. Now the SEC is getting questioning on a lot of stuff. Are they overstepping the mark? Are they trying to regulate things that are way out of their boundaries? But now they're getting investigated for approving something which maybe they shouldn't have. So a report published on the 15th of August stated that the House Financial Services Committee chairman led the embarkment for answers and sent letters to the FINRA's president and SEC chairman Gary Gensler. So the report stated the lawmakers are demanding transparency regarding the approval process for Prometheum and raising questions asking the risks to national security posed by Prometheum's reported ties to the Chinese Communist Party. So Prometheum provides a solution for digital asset securities investing, bringing together a blockchain-powered platform with the benefits of a securities-regulated marketplace. But you can also buy and sell digital asset securities in a securities setting. So everyone deserves equal treatment, says the Coinbase CEO. Coinbase obviously are up against the SEC anyway. If you are interested in this article, I'll drop the link to this in the chat. I have some more stories here about Coinbase. One more news story to go, and then we'll get on to analysing the price of Bitcoin. Main story about Coinbase today is Coinbase will now be the first crypto native leader to directly offer traditional spot crypto trading alongside regulated and leveraged crypto futures on an integrated trading solution for our verified customers. So big news here. Let me pull up what this says exactly. So what this means is Coinbase have secured approval to bring federally regulated crypto futures trading to eligible US customers. So big move there for Coinbase. Let's take a look at now what's going on with the price of Bitcoin. So what we're seeing here is some sideways action. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see that we are on that level of support right now. So from the start of this year, the very start of this year, on the 31st of December last year, we used this level of support, and multiple times since then we have also bounced this. So we've got the 11th of March, we've got the 15th of June. Every single time we've seen a really, really strong bounce, and typically it's been off the back of really important news. But what we are seeing right now is we are currently on that point. So we are currently trading at that exact level there at around $29,150. Now, the question is Bitcoin going to respect this level of support once again, or is it just going to go sideways right through it? That's the question that I'm looking at right now. It's a pretty interesting one. If we break down below this, I'm not looking at this and saying if we break it, we're going to dump to $10,000. I'm looking at this and saying we could just literally ignore it and go completely sideways here. Unless we get some really positive news. I don't see us breaking this range anytime soon. I'm sorry, but that's what the markets are saying right now. If we take a look at the RSI, and if we take a look at the MACD, you can see that they are as neutral as anything. Unfortunately, I personally just don't see much volatility coming into the markets anytime soon until we see some massive news in the media. I don't know when that will be. I don't know what that will be. I don't know whether it will be bullish or bearish. And for that reason, I'm not trading as much as I usually do with the lack of volatility, with the lack of certainty. Until we break a major level of support and resistance, there's really not much to trade for me, unfortunately. So we're sitting on the sidelines right now and waiting for something exciting to happen, but hopefully it happens soon. And anyway, when Bitcoin is going sideways, it gives you the perfect opportunity to learn as much as possible. The bear markets are made for building. They are time period where you can grow and learn. In the bull market, you will be rushed off your feet trying to get on top of your cryptocurrency portfolio. You won't have time to do all of this research, so make sure to spend this time wisely and educate yourself in preparation for the next bull market. Head over to cryptosavingexpert.com, press that big blue button, go over to the courses section, check them all out, enjoy it all, utilize it. It's free information there at cryptosavingexpert.com. But that is all we have time for today, so thank you very much for tuning in, as always, and I will see you all back